Hey, what's up, YouTube? It is Melanie back with another Black Metal Monday. So this is probably going to be the last Black Metal Monday of the year. So really quickly, let me just recap what has been going on with me these last couple of weeks. So I had a really bad ear infection that started off as just feeling like swimmer's ear, where it was just clogged. Like I still had like fluid or something stuck in there from after a shower or something. Wasn't going away after a couple of days. I went to like an urgent minute clinic thing. They're like little clinics here in the US where you can just go. You don't need a doctor's appointment or anything like that with a special doctor. You can just walk in and then somebody will see you, whoever's on site. She took a look in there and said, looks like you just have bad allergies and just needs to be cleared up. So she pretty much prescribed me allergy medication. And then a couple days later, it started to hurt really bad. It was some of the worst pain that I've ever felt, and it was awful. I was losing sleep, and then eventually, after doing some home remedies to ease the pain, it then felt like my ear exploded and it was leaking disgusting, awful things. So I eventually just went into my normal doctor because obviously there was something wrong. She checked it, said there was too much fluid in my ear to see my eardrum if it ruptured. So she prescribed me these ear drops that were antibiotics for my ear to kind of clean it up and see, and then told me to come back in a week. Well, they weren't doing anything, and I was just getting worse. I was feeling horrible. I could not hear. I had a horrible ringing in my ear. I was completely deaf in one ear. So finally, I was just not convinced that this was the right course of action. So I went to a specialist, an ENT. He took a look and said, yes, you have a really bad ear infection. There is a tube back here that connects pretty much sinuses that drains fluid from your ear. It was completely closed off. It was not draining. So much fluid had built up in my ear. It infected my eardrum. It just was all messed up. So he prescribed me a bunch of medication. So I'm on a lot of medication right now. And this was a couple of days ago, and it is now starting to clear up, and I feel so much better. So 2 weeks of my life of not having a right diagnosis kind of sucks, was wasted, but now I'm starting to feel better. So that is why I pretty much have gone missing. I was really not feeling good, guys. It was pretty bad. I haven't been that sick in a while, and I think the last video I recorded on this channel, you can probably tell I maybe wasn't as into it because I was really starting to feel horrible back then. So all right. Anyway, today is the almighty my favorite black metal albums of 2021 video. This is going to be a top 10 with a few honorable mentions that were also my favorites this year. But I did do a top 10 because everybody wants the top 10. They want the list, all that stuff. So I did do that. There's probably going to be a lot of things on here that I talked about this year that aren't here. Then you're probably wondering why. Just in general, they probably were really good releases. I probably really did enjoy them. I probably did talk about them a lot with friends and whatever, and probably talked about them on Instagram and stuff like that. But however, in terms of listening and what I've liked the most this year, what I've been listening to nonstop, and what has really grasped me and what has really made me love it, these are those albums. So don't get mad if there's something on here that you think should be on here. It's all subjective. It's all up to people's opinions, blah, 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 blah. These are mine. Yours will always be different, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I shouldn't have to talk about that. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. So first up, we'll start with the ever so awesome honorable mentions, and I'm going to pop up my screen here. And the very first one is Forest, the self-titled release. This is the man behind Blut aus Nord. This is like a side project that he did, and this is an incredible album. I love this album this year. I do not think that it is remotely anything similar to Blut aus Nord, so please take a listen to this. It is definitely it's a really good album. It's atmospheric black metal, but there's so much other stuff to it that makes it so great. And I've seen a lot of people talk about this on here. So if you haven't checked this out yet, definitely do so. It is definitely worth it. And this is one that I really loved at the beginning of the year. It came out pretty early in the year. For sure thought it was going to be like my favorite one. And then, of course, as the year going on, so much stuff came out. But again, this needs to be shouted out. So check this out if you haven't. You can find it pretty much anywhere. There's vinyls, CDs, everything is everywhere. So if you can't find it on Bandcamp, they have it on Amazon if you're not objective to buying off Amazon. So check this out. It's amazing. The next one is Grima, Rotten Garden. This is another one that came out really early on this year, and that I absolutely love. Atmospheric black metal with a nature theme, as you can see. This one I listened to a ton when it first came out, and I for sure thought this was going to be my favorite black metal album of the year. But again, it was so early on in the year. So much stuff has come out since then. And this one I still absolutely love. It still is worthy of being on year-end lists. It is an incredible album. Band out of Russia. So good. This album is incredibly hard to find. I cannot find vinyl anywhere. It is sold out. It's being sold for ridiculous prices on Discogs. The record label doesn't have any in stock. So if you know where I can find this vinyl, please let me know. I do have the tape, but I would much rather have the vinyl. So incredible album. Check this out. And then finally, the last one is one that I've actually never talked about on here. And admittedly, that kind of fell through the cracks, but this is one that kind of came up out of nowhere for me. I don't know anything about this band. This is the first time I've ever heard them. It was a recommendation from some friends, and I listened to it, and I absolutely love this album. So this is my next to buy. I will be getting this very soon, but this is Bluest Stars, I think is how you say their name, with an album that I am going to butcher, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. So this is an incredible album. Again, another atmospheric type black metal album. Amazing stuff. It looks like it's available and ready to buy, so it's there. It's on Bandcamp. It's only 3 songs, but the last song, as you can see, is 20 minutes long, which I don't know if you can see. There you go, 20 minutes long, so that makes up for pretty much the whole album. So if you're familiar with this, I'm sure you know that it's great, but please check it out if you haven't, because it is incredible. And then finally, the last honorable mention for my list before I get into the top 10 is, let me pop this back over here, is, come on, camera. All right, is, and this, it was hard to not put this in the top 10, but there's just so many other releases that have come out, and you'll understand why. But this is Paysage d'Iver. I always say the name wrong. I'm sorry. With Geister. So I absolutely love this album. I have all of his work, all like 30 something insane works. Was a discography that I heavily worked on this year to get, and I pretty much chose to do it all on CDs because those were the easiest to get access to. The vinyls, some of them are just ridiculously priced, some of them are hard to find. There's just a lot. So anyway, it is very much rinse and repeat, but it is also a very good album. I love how heavy and dark this album was. I've listened to this a lot. This is definitely one of my favorites of the year. So if you haven't checked this out, check it out. It's fantastic. And I really love the way that they do these CDs. They're really nice. This one folds out with lyrics and pictures. So another phenomenal album. Probably one of my favorite black metal bands, projects, whatever you want to call it. Worthy of being on the year-end list. So those are the honorable mentions. Let's get started with the top 10 countdown. So starting at number 10, and I'm going to try and do some editing here, so there might be some like numbers and shit. I'm going to try. We'll see. If it's not there, then it's because I gave up and trying to figure it out. Number 10 is 1914, Where Fear and Weapons Meet. So this is a late addition into my top 10 list. This is something that I recently just got within the last several weeks, which you guys know. Had never heard anything from this band until now, but this album just grabbed me and said, this is your year-end list, add it there. It's fantastic. And this album is absolutely fantastic. So this had to go on there. I've been listening to this nonstop ever since I got it. It is solid, beginning to end, and it is a really, really great black metal album with that World War I theme. I think it's World War I. Yeah. So good stuff. Check this out. So that is my number 10. My number 9 is another one that a late addition to the top 10, something that I recently just got as well, but another fantastic album that I've been listening to a ton, and I absolutely love this band, and I need to get all their other albums. This is Elderwind with Fires. This is such a fantastic album. Band out of Russia. So good. Great atmospheric black metal. So, so good. I've been listening to this album nonstop. And I love this band. It is very right up my alley in terms of black metal, atmospheric black metal. So this is the one this had to go on the list. And I will be listening to this nonstop for ever. I feel like this is probably gonna be one of my favorite black metal albums for a long time. So this is a fantastic album. Check this out if you haven't yet. I'm pretty sure this is pretty accessible. You can find this anywhere. So good stuff. And again, I need to get their other albums. Number 8, and man, when you see my other top ones, you'll understand why this is not higher up there. But this album is something that I probably did not do enough justice on my last Black Metal Monday when I showed it off. But I have been listening to this a ton since then. And again, just not disappointed at all. But Lamp of Murmur with Submission and Slavery, the newest full length that came out this year. Just the Lamp of Murmur hype is real for me. I absolutely love everything that this man puts out. And this album is so different from his last in terms of elements that he puts in there. There's some metal, there's some rock elements, there's some punk, just fantastic musicianship. It is not the super raw black metal album that you might expect. It is a very, very, very good, well-written album. It is so good. And it is so different from his last one. So I love when artists don't do the copy, rinse, repeat stuff. When they experiment, they go through with their sound, they try and really find what works for them. And this is definitely one of those albums that does that. So fantastic. My favorite song here is Deformed Erotic Visage. Right there, second to last. Amazing guitar solo on it. Just incredible, incredible artist. And I absolutely love everything Lamp of Murmur puts out. I'm convinced he's never going to put out a bad record. So that's my number 8. All right. Number 7 is a band that I cannot pronounce. It's not even going to try, but Dear something in German band name, it will be in the description, with their newest release, Nocturne, out on Season of Mist. Incredible album. This is another late one into my list that I just received this not that long ago. It just came out a couple of weeks ago, but I've been listening to this nonstop. It is such a phenomenal album, and I feel like it's going to be highly overlooked. People are not going to talk about it as much this year because it came out so late, but this is a great album. You should definitely check it out, and I'm pretty sure it's available places you'll be able to find it. So incredible album. Again, you'll probably see the theme of my black metal on here. It's a lot of atmospheric black metal, which is my favorite black metal. It's the one that I've really connected with since I've started this black metal journey. So again, this is no exception. A fantastic album. So that was my number 7. So number 6. This had to be in there. This easily could be some people's number 1s. And for me, immediately, I thought it was going to be that. But that's not taking away from anything. This is an incredible album. This was incredibly hard for me to get, so I finally got it. But this is the new Hell Ruin with War Upon Man. One man black metal project here. New Era Productions. Incredible stuff. This is such a fantastic album. This is, for the most part, I think it's pretty much sold out everywhere. I think it's like a second press that I got through Arcane Altar. I am having a real hard time talking today, guys. Sorry. But again, just an incredible album. This one has been one of my favorites to come out this year for quite a while now, ever since it was released. I am so happy that I finally have it. So please check this out. It is worthy of it. Very, very good. Just in general, it's got the raw black metal sound, but the production is so good. It's not like where you can't hear the lyrics or anything like that. But it is a very good album. He's a fantastic artist. Writes amazing songs. So this is incredible. Love that album. So fucking good. And now we're getting into the top 5. And this was very hard to compile. Very, very hard to compile. Come on. Stop falling over. All right. Number 5. This is probably going to be a lot of people's number 1s. was going to be my number one for a long time, but Americanum with Solar Paroxysm, I think that's how you say that. Just what's there to be said about Americanum that hasn't already been said? Incredible atmospheric black metal, fantastic musician, incredible guitarist, writes amazing music. This album is fantastic, and this is just so good. It's on out on I Void Hanger Records. Pretty much the vinyl sold out everywhere. It's hard to find. I got lucky and got this through Meteor Gem when they had a couple pressings. But I'm hoping that they continue to repress these. For some reason, vinyl's popping out there. But yeah, fantastic album. Just it deserves all the praise. And his other albums are very good too. But this is by far my favorite one that he's put out so far. So this is my number 5. Americanum. Fucking rules. I absolutely love that album. Number 4. I struggled with putting this on here simply because I don't know if it actually falls fully black metal or if it's blackened death metal or if it's death metal. But it's on here. Don't hate me. It's also going to go on my death metal list. But Suffering Hour with the Cyclic Reckoning. There is definitely black metal on this. But there's also some death metal sound to it too. But for the most part, I mostly get black metal out of this. It's got a very like raw black metal atmospheric sound. Incredible album. This has been my favorite album, one of my favorite albums to come out since it came out so early on in the year, and I've talked about this all year long and just blabbed about how fantastic it is. Out on Profound Lore. Vinyls are completely sold out, as always, but just incredible album. And like I said, this could go either way. It could either be a death metal album, it could either be a black metal album. Some people are probably gonna, shame me for putting it on the black metal list, but we'll see. We'll see what you guys think. But again, this could have easily been my favorite album of the year, but there's just so much stuff that came out this year, so it was hard. But I absolutely love this album. So check this out if you haven't yet. And their other albums are just as good, but that is my favorite one they've put out so far. Fantastic album. All right, top 3. Here we go. None of this is going to be a surprise to anybody. Number 3, Holder. Had to put Holder in here. She's incredible with God slattering hymns of forlorn peasantry. Yeah, those long album titles. Holder, one woman black metal band, very talented, incredible. Mark Riddick artwork on here. Just again, another album that was released. It was sold out immediately. I was lucky enough to snag this off of NWN before they sold out. So when they did the first press, I've been cherishing this since it came out. I absolutely love this album. This woman is so talented and just deserves all the praise. So I'm hoping I get to see her live someday. I know that she's been doing some shows lately out in the northwest of the United States. This was out on Iron Bonehead, so you guys know Iron Bonehead can be kind of a pain to get, but NWN is an exclusive distributor for the US, so go ahead and check them out. I think the CDs and tapes are still roaming around, but as far as I know, the vinyl might be sold out. I don't know. They've repressed this a bunch this year, but this is my first pressing that I was able to get. Had I known they were going to repress it 100 times, I probably would have waited, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Fantastic album. Definitely just had to be high up there. I still listen to this like crazy. I love this woman. She's so talented. So good. All right, number 2. And this was actually my number 1 until my number 1 came out. Spectral Wound with a Diabolic Thirst. This has been my favorite black metal album since it came out this year. And when you see my number 1, you'll understand why it's not my number 1 anymore. But I love this album. Some people said it's overhyped. Some people just don't understand it, why people love it. But I love this album. I love it so much I bought the CD as well, just so I don't have to always play the vinyl because I want to keep the vinyl in good shape. Another Profound Lore release here. They did just repress these, so they might be around, but for a while there, they were hard to find. And because I just noticed I have this, pause it, it's yours. I don't need the digital because I already have it on so many other formats. So anyway, Diabolic Thirst, fantastic Canadian black metal. I absolutely love their other albums, but this one is probably my favorite so far. Frigid and Spellbound just gets stuck in my head for days. I absolutely love that song. There's not a bad song on here. The whole album flows well together. Just I love this album. But when you see my number one, you'll understand why it's my number one. And we'll talk about it because I've never shown it on this show yet. So number two, Spectral Wounds. Like again, some people are probably going to say that it's a little overhyped and they don't think it's as good as people are saying. I am not one of those people. It's just subjective. Blah 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 blah. Everybody's list is going to be different, guys. So calm down. It's okay. But first, you need a sip of coffee. It's 9 o'clock in the morning here in Tampa, so just waking up, trying to get these videos done before I have to go grind on work. All right, number one, the new Stormkeep, Tales of Other Time. You know, I knew as soon as they announced that they were coming out with a new album this year, after their EP last year that dropped, Galdrum, was one of my favorite things to be released last year. I was absolutely obsessed with that. I knew as soon as I heard that this band was releasing a full length this year, it was probably going to be one of my favorite albums of the year. And I just had that preconception. I just knew it. Sometimes you just know those things, and I was absolutely right. So this is on Von Records, I think is how you say it, or Van Records. Vinyl sold out. I got this through 20 Buck Spin. So 20 Buck Spin got a couple of distro drops a couple weeks ago, shortly after the album was released. So this has only been out for a couple weeks. And as soon as they popped it up, I literally put my notifications on because I knew they were getting them. I ordered it and it sold out like 20 minutes later. So these are hard to find. I think the CDs are also completely sold out. The CDs actually have extended tracks with dungeon synth songs on it. So I am on the hunt for CD because I would like to have those tracks as well. But this album is fucking phenomenal. It is just exactly what the cover art shows you. It is a mythical, fantasy-ridden album. I mean, the first song is called The Seer. The second song is called The Citadel. On side B, the first song is The Serpent Stone. So I think you can understand like the general theme of this album. It is black metal. It is 90s black metal sounding with a little bit of atmospheric black metal. It is so good. I absolutely love this album. Yeah, I think there's members of Blood Incantation in this. I don't remember who. Is it Paul? I don't remember. I'm so bad with that stuff. But again, incredible album. So since I haven't shown this on here, I will show you the release. It came out on two or three different vinyl copies. This is the standard, or not standard, the 180 gram blue marble version. There's a Die Hard version that has like a slip case. I almost bought that one because 20 Buck Spin had it, but I chose to get this one. The slipcase stuff on vinyl, stuff like that, it's not my favorite thing in the world. It looks really nice. I probably should have gotten that because of the exclusivity around it, but I just chose to get this one. My Iwata ones have slipcases, and they're just such a pain. But this is the blue and white marble one. Very nice. 180 grams, so it's a heavy piece of wax. Feels nice and sturdy, like it won't ever warp or anything, which I love 180 gram wax. The thin wax stuff always makes me nervous, but in terms of sound and stuff like that, I couldn't tell you if it's any better or not. I'm not a sound audiophile person. I don't really get into that. It has an inner sheet of the album artwork, and then on the other side, it looks like some Von Records releases that have come out this year. So I need to check out some of those. I haven't checked out any of those other ones yet. And then some other special stuff in here. So, comes with this very Lord of the Rings style poster of the journey that you go through. So yes, it is very Lord of the Rings feeling, which is some of my favorite movies. So again, a bit biased here, but I love this shit. And then it also has this really awesome lyric booklet with some really awesome pictures. So there you go. And then let me show you the pictures because I love the band pictures in here. It's very, very cool. This one. So this is Lord. Something I can't read because of the text that they use in here, the font that they use. There's another one that reminds me of some old school frosty black metal worship with that picture. Paysage d'Ivre is one. There's a couple of other. Drowning the Light is another one that it reminds me of. It's another one. So yeah, just a really nice booklet that they've added in here. There we go. That also reminds me of Drowning the Light as well. Asgore. That's what it reminds me of with the sword. Another picture. I think so. There might be one more. Nope, that's it. The rest is just lyrics. So yeah, really nice lyric booklet that it comes with. There's their logo. So cool stuff. And then there's the sleeve. And then as always, the inner part is black, which for whatever reason I just love when they do stuff like that. When it's not just plain white, they put the color on the inside of the jacket. I don't know why. For some reason I love when they do that. So that stuff. So a really nice pressing, a nice added bonus to an incredible album of the year. My favorite black metal album to come out this year. Just an absolutely stunning album. Some people might say it's overhyped. Some people might completely disagree with me on here. But you know, hey, that's the good thing about music is that everybody forms their own opinions. Everybody has different sounds. Their ears are trained differently. They hear things differently. They don't agree, but the good beauty of it is you can get more people to listen to it. You can get more people to like it, and you know you don't always have the same likes, but at the same time, you might find something that you didn't think you would like, or you might grow on you over time. So again, a fantastic album. So nice job, guys. I just knew this was going to be my favorite album as soon as it was announced. I hyped it up so much in my head, and it just exceeded all of my expectations, which I absolutely love when that happens. I love when that happens. So that is my favorite black metal albums of 2021. This year has been a phenomenal year for music, just so much. I'm doing the 31 Days of Metal on my Instagram right now, where I'm posting every single day one of my favorite albums to come out this year. And then on January 1st, I am announcing a winner for that contest. So it's not too late to join that contest. You can just throw up a bunch of posts in one day if you've been missing out. I don't care, as long as there's 31 releases that have been shown. And I'm also doing it, my favorite albums of the year, favorite 5 albums of the year. Excuse me. I got the hiccups now for some reason. And on here on my YouTube channel, I will link it in the description. Go over there, list your favorite 5 albums of the year. You might win a Cannibal Corpse vinyl for that, and I will also announce that winner on January 1st as well. I do have another very special giveaway coming up. It is already lined up. I've collaborated with somebody very special, very legendary. That will be announced January 1st. It will be the beginning of the year giveaway to start 2022 off super strong. It is open up to every single YouTube subscriber. I am so pumped for it. So be on the lookout for that. Get hyped. It is such an awesome giveaway. It is just, I'm dying. I've been knowing about this for weeks and I've been dying to talk about it. So I'm happy I can finally announce I'm going to be doing a giveaway, just not going to say what yet. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys for making this year incredible for me. I've grown so much. I think I'm well over 1,000 subscribers now. So a lot of new things to come with this channel next year. I'm going to try and do live streams and maybe create like a podcast every week where I talk with somebody from the vinyl scene or the music scene somewhere, or YouTubers, and just talking about music, and might do that like once a month, not frequent, because there's plenty of YouTubers that do that frequently that deserve to continue to do that, like that's their thing. But this, I might do some special stuff here and there. But again, the Black Metal journey will continue into 2022. The Black Metal Monday series will not be going away, and I'm excited for the new releases that are going to be coming out. So if you know of already stuff that's been announced, drop it in here. Also, if you're interested, tell me what your favorite black metals of the year were, albums of the year were, because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I haven't heard yet. So thank you guys, and be sure to check out my favorite death metal albums coming up. That should be going up tomorrow. And then be on the lookout January 1st for the announcement for the contest and then the new contest. Thank you guys, and have a great holiday season. If you don't celebrate Christmas, enjoy time with whatever you may celebrate at that time, and Happy New Year.